Go ahead and call the cases, Mr. Marufo.
In cause number 2022-0D04719 and 2022-0D03572 and 2022-0D03238 and 2020-0D05125 and 2022-0D05573, State of Texas versus David Tari. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Manuel Parra, Your Honor, from Certari.
And I believe Carla Pineda is here for court services, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing that he has 4 pending cases and 1 rebel. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and he's on rebel with Judge Perez on a state jail?
Correct.
All right, what did he do? What did he do or not do while he was on probation?
Your Honor, there are 2 rearrests. One is in April 28, 2022. The other one's August 10, 2022. There is an MTR filed as of August 23rd, 2022, which remains pending. As far as everything else,
Was he reporting during the time he was on probation?
he did report, Your Honor. There was reporting. He reported as instructed. UA was provided. They were negative at the time that they were collected. Community service, he provided, he was given 80 hours credit already for that. What else? Basically, it's just been, he's been in custody, Your Honor, based on the 2 rearrests. And he's been there, I believe, since August. I can double check. I don't want to misspeak, but.
So the 2 rearrests resulted in 4 additional charges, is that correct?
There was 1 arrest, Your Honor, back on April 28th, which was the assault with deadly weapon.
Uh-huh.
And then thereafter, he was picked up again. He was arrested again on August 10th, 2022 for another assault, causing bodily injury and ag robbery and the possession.
All right. Ms. Elizalde, have you given a rec that encompasses all of the charges, and are there any that you are showing as a P file?
I'm not showing anything as a P file, and I have a rec for 5 TDC on the new cases and 18 month state jail on the rebel, since it's a state jail felon.
Mr. Parra, have you had a chance to review that rec?
We have, Your Honor. We're pretty far apart on the rec. My client is not inclined to take that. With respect to at least one of the charges where his sister's a complaining witness, we do have a non-prosecution affidavit that I believe we forwarded to the state. We're hoping that the state is able to come down to 2 years on everything.
Your Honor, if I may
Yes, ma'am.
make a correction, I mentioned a possession because I saw that on an Odyssey, but I don't see that it's one of our filed cases. So it would be engaging in organized criminal activity. I apologize.
Okay. All right, but it's still one of the 4. It's not an extra one.
I believe so, Your Honor.
I'm pretty sure. I think that's the 3572.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So your counters 2 TDC, which means
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
asking for lesser included on some of them.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
I'll consider it. I'll look at it.
Understood.
All right, so I'm showing that we still have some settings in the future. So I say, yeah, I don't think this needs to be addressed by a revocation before, since he's got those other charges. So I think let's go ahead and keep going. The
Sure.
next setting that I'm showing is March 28th for a pretrial. All right,
Understood, Judge.
all right. Okay, thank you so much. See you in a month.
I'll stand by for the interpreter, Judge. I think I need an interpreter on my remaining 2 cases.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
She's here.
Oh, wonderful.
okay. All right, Ms. Elizalde, if you decide to take that to TDC, will you let us know so we can set it for a plea first?
Of course, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Marufo, go ahead and call the cases when you're ready.
Yes, Judge. She's on page 12, Judge. In cause number 2022-0D01450, State of Texas versus Yamil Gutierrez Munoz. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana for the state is ready.
Manuel Parra, Your Honor, from Ms. Gutierrez, also ready.
All right, I'm showing this is set for,
Judge.
oh, for the record. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Ms. Noyola, can you interpret
Oh,
before I turn on the interpretation? Your client is Ms. Yamil Astrid Gutierrez.
Y en este momento se abre la sesión del caso 2022-0D01450, que es el Estado de Texas en contra de Yamil Gutiérrez Muñoz. Y estamos aquí presentes para una audiencia final límite para aceptar la oferta. Los abogados se encuentran presentes y ya se ha abierto el caso.
Do I need to press anything in regards to the translation, Mr. Marufo?
Do we want to do consecutive?
Which do you prefer, Miss Erica? I will do what you prefer.
I think it should be up to the interpreter, but I'll be okay however, but
Okay, Ms. Noyola, how would you like to do the interpretation?
Your Honor, we can just continue consecutive.
Okay. All right, so I'm showing that we are set for a final hearing plea deadline.
Parece que se ha fijado el día de hoy para una audiencia final y límite para aceptar la oferta.
What was the last offer, Ms. Elizalde?
Señorita
last-
Lizaldi, ¿cuál fue la última oferta?
The last offer was to dismiss the misdemeanor
La última oferta era de sobreseer el delito menor.
and 12 months deferred on the felony.
Y en cuanto al delito grave, serían 12 meses de sentencia suspendida y supervisión comunitaria.
Right, Mr. Parra, have you had a chance to look at that recommendation?
Señor Parra, ¿ha tenido la oportunidad de ver la recomendación?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Así es, su señoría.
And what says your client?
¿Su cliente que contesta?
Your Honor, my client is declining that offer and has also declined an alternate offer wherein she pleads to the misdemeanor and has a felony dismissed. She's unable to plead to either of them.
Su señoría, mi cliente ha rechazado esa oferta y también ha rechazado una oferta donde ella se declararía culpable al delito menor y al delito grave y enfrentaría únicamente el delito menor. Ella no puede declararse culpable.
And also, Your Honor, these two cases arise from the same incident. There's a non-prosecution affidavit from the CW in the misdemeanor, not only saying that he was not assaulted, but also that the child in the felony case was not assaulted and that any scratches were from a previous birthday party.
Y también, su señoría, existe una acta donde el testigo denunciante pide retirar los cargos. Él dice que no fue agredido y además agrega que el menor de edad no fue agredido y que los araños son a raíz de una fiesta de cumpleaños que hubo el día anterior.
All right. Ms. Elizalde, you ready for Friday?
Señorita Elizalde, ¿está lista para el miércoles?
I believe so,
Viernes,
Judge.
no? Hold on, Friday. Viernes, no?
Señorita Elizalde, ¿está lista para el viernes? Sorry.
I believe so, Judge. We have had contact with CW in the past, and we do have to communicate to him that the recs have been declined and that the state is requesting that, or he's going to receive a subpoena that he's going to have to show up to court because it's not up to him.
Creo que sí, su señoría, ya hemos hablado con el testigo denunciante en el pasado y vamos a tener que contactarlo otra vez y le vamos a tener que decir que vamos a tener que notificarle formalmente con un citatorio judicial que no depende de él, sino que él tendrá que presentarse en la corte.
All right, Mr. Potter, you ready for Friday then?
Señor
be
Parra,
fine.
¿está usted listo para el viernes?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize, Ms. Noyola.
Thank you.
All right. This one's
Sí.
ready for Friday.
Muy bien, en este caso ya está listo para el viernes este caso.
All right. I'm not assuming you need a Thursday setting, so I'm just setting this for Friday. Okay, I'm
Understood,
not
Judge.
adding it to the Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Esto irá directamente al viernes, no se necesita una fecha en el calendario para el jueves.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Parra?
Not in this case, Your Honor.
Ninguna otra cosa por parte del señor Parra.
Ms. Elizalde, anything else?
Yes, Judge, just briefly. And I think what I'm about to say goes to both cases that Mr. Parra has.
Mhm.
En,
Um,
en
go
cuanto
ahead.
a la fiscalía, brevemente, y esto tiene que ver con los dos casos que tiene el señor Parra.
Mr. Parra, I understand what the complaining witness wants and what he's saying,
Yes.
but I think we had a conversation that when officers arrived, she was still in middle of the assault, right? And I also understand that this carries way more like significant consequences for your clients. But are you sure there are no further conversations that are needed? Because on the evading, he also confessed. So I'm struggling to see how possibly getting, the evading for Carpio, is that not you?
Yes, I'm sorry. And I thought we were still discussing Ms. Gutierrez. That threw me off very much.
Oh, sorry, I said this applies to both, but I'll stick to one.
I thought
But just
both
know that I'm not
cases.
gonna repeat it, yeah. So what I'm saying is, yes, we'll go to trial. You might win or I might, but there's more severe consequences that they're facing based on that could greatly impact whether they get any residency. So are you sure we've had all communications regarding these cases? It's an all or nothing for your clients?
La abogada de la fiscalía está preguntando al señor Parra en cuanto a este caso y otro caso que hay una cosa lo que quiere el testigo denunciante y hay otra cosa de lo que se está diciendo, pero las consecuencias son inmigratorias en cuanto a sus clientes y si está seguro el señor Parra de que ya se ha hablado todo lo que se tiene que hablar, si no hay más conversaciones pendientes y si esta es lo que él está seguro que esto es lo que quiere hacer el abogado.
Up till now, Ms. Alyssa, my impression has been that any offer has included a plea to at least one assault with family violence findings, which as you may know, would come with the consequences anyway.
Y hasta ahorita el abogado Parra contesta que hasta ahorita las ofertas que se han presentado serían declararse culpable mínimo a una de las agresiones y que se determinaría que también hubo violencia intrafamiliar, por lo cual traería consecuencias a sus clientes.
If there were to be an offer that wouldn't call for any plea to an assault with family violence findings, that's definitely something we'd be open to consider.
Sin embargo, si hubiese una oferta donde no se tuviera que declarar culpable sus clientes a agresión, donde se determine también que hubo violencia intrafamiliar, eso sería algo que se pudiese considerar.
So we're talking about an assault, bodily injury, no family violence finding?
Se trataría entonces de agresión y lesión física sin determinar que hubo violencia intrafamiliar.
Is that something your client will consider?
Eso sería algo que su cliente consideraría.
I'm sure it's still something she would want to run by the immigration attorney, but I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Eso sería algo que tendría que presentar ante el abogado de inmigración, pero el abogado piensa que sí, así sería, posiblemente.
Okay, I'm just checking to see if she served any time, which I think is going to be a no.
Nada más está revisando a ver si ya ha pasado tiempo en la cárcel, que cree que sería negativo.
Okay, so the official recommendation, Mr. Barra,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
going to be a dismissal of the felony. If she pleads to an assault bodily injury, credit for time served after completing.
Hold on. The rec that you're talking about would then require a plea in a misdemeanor court, and that's not going to occur between here and Friday.
Right.
Right. So you're better off making an offer on the felony that can be disposed of on Friday. Whether you reduce it to whatever you want to reduce it to, because you're not going to get that plea in misdemeanor court before this Friday's jury docket.
I need to make sure that.
I'm sorry. We don't have an interpretation for a lot of it.
Oh, sorry. I'll hold.
Sorry, Ms. Noel.
Thank you. La oferta que estaba presentando la abogada de Elizalde es de que sería a declararse culpable por el delito menor y luego nada más, bueno, que en este caso resolver el delito menor, pero la jueza ha dicho que en este caso se tiene que resolver el delito grave porque si no tienen que ir a juicio porque no se puede declarar culpable ante un juzgado de menor instancia antes del viernes en cuanto al delito menor, así que no se puede declarar tienen que presentar otra oferta donde se resuelva el delito grave.
All right. So let me go ahead and have you all continue your communication.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm still noting it is ready for trial. And in fact, unless I have seen something right now, you all are number one. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm done with the docket. Doesn't mean that my math is correct at this point. But I'm going to leave it pending. Ms. Elizalde, you can decide what you want to offer to Mr. Parra. But I'm not going to reset this one for a plea and a misdemeanor.
I'm just
Okay.
checking, Judge, that the ABI is a lesser included, which I think it is, of an injury to a child, but the
It is.
state was also asking for BIP, Judge, and that won't be done by Friday.
So you're wanting a dismissal on both?
Well, no, I was gonna have have her, if it was accepted. Do I need to stop for the interpreter real quick, or?
Yeah, let's get off the record for a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.